Everything is in your hand. It's up to you to pursue your artistic dream and make your life more meaningful or memorable for you. That is the most important part because after all, it's your own life.
Welcome to the BoldBrush Show, where we believe that fortune favors the bold. Brush. My name is Laura Engelbert, and I'm your host. For those of you who are new to the podcast, we are a podcast that covers art marketing techniques and all sorts of business tips specifically to help artists learn to better sell their work. We interview artists at all stages of their careers, as well as others who are in careers tied to the art world in order to hear their advice and insights. For today's episode, we sat down with Oliver Sin, an artist who specializes in gorgeous, expressive portraits in vine charcoal. Oliver tells us all about how he became an artist, the importance of having mentors even if you're at the top of your mountain, why remaining humble is the key to continue growing, how crucial it is to communicate with others, and he emphasizes that you only live one life, so go out there and chase your wildest dreams. Finally, he tells us all about why he enjoys teaching and all of his incredible upcoming 2024 workshops. Check out the show notes to sign up before all the spots are taken. Well, welcome, Oliver, to the BoldBrush Show. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Laura, for having me. Hi, guys. This is Oliver Sins.
Yes, thank you so much. You are so sweet, and I'm so happy to have you on the podcast because, of course, I have heard great things about you, and I have, of course, seen your stunning work. So I'm really happy. Yes, you're welcome. I'm really happy to be able to talk to you about it. Yeah. So I wanted you to please tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Hi, guys. I'm Oliver Sin. I was born and raised in Hong Kong, and I finished my high school in Toronto, Canada. And after I finished high school, my family moved to San Francisco, California. And for 4 years art education, I graduated from Academy of Art University. So I have been living in San Francisco, California, right after the big earthquake, 1989. So I can call San Francisco my home because I've been living here more than 30 something years. So I graduated from Academy of Art University, major in illustration. And after I graduated from Academy of Art University in San Francisco, then I worked for George Lucas for almost like 3.5 years, less than 4 years. So I worked as a concept artist for Star Wars Episode 1. And before I worked on the Star Wars Episode 1, I worked as an animator for Curse of Monkey Island and background painter, Photoshop painter, and for Curse of Monkey Island. So that 3.5 years experience for George Lucas actually opened my eyes. And then I, worked in Hong Kong as an art director after George Lucas experience. So that lasts for like 6 months. And I have been teaching at Academy of Arts University since 2001. So I have what year we are like I have more than 22 years professional teaching experience at Academy of Art University in San Francisco. I have been drawing since I was a little kid. I would say maybe like age 3. So I like to draw since I was a little kid. I didn't know that I can able to make a living as an artist. So it's just like drawing is, sketching or being an artist is in my blood. I mean, I didn't try to become an artist. I think it's in my blood. It's very, very natural for me to go to art school. And then after I graduate, I was lucky enough to make a living as an artist. So I'm very, very lucky and grateful that I can able to continue to become a professional artist with my artistic skills. So that is my how I started. How I started as an artist. It's very, very natural. So I didn't pick art. I can able to tell you I turned 50, and I can tell you this: art find me. I didn't find art. It just is very, very natural. And life is short, and then I finally find my mission in my late 40s. I think sharing my knowledge in arts is my mission. Everybody have a mission in their life, and I'm so lucky and grateful to find my callings, extremely younger age, like in age 3 to 5, and then now I travel more travel around the world and teach a lot of like international workshops, um, to share my knowledge about with other people. I think I find it is very, very rewarding. Sharing is great, especially sharing the knowledge in art, with other people. And actually, the student that I met at the workshops at the school, they inspire me more than they open my eye to see something that I don't know. I think they are more like my inspiration. That was just my job to teach them, what I know as an artist. But actually, I have to thank my student. They are my greatest inspiration instead. So I'm very, very being more grateful for this opportunity, and it took me a long time to finally understand sharing the knowledge in art is actually my mission, and I kind of enjoyed it. Being an artist, Laura, you're an amazing artist yourself as well. And every day I go to work and I don't have any pressure at all. I enjoy go to work, and this is a very, very rewarding job for me. So I'm very, very grateful and lucky, and and an honor is mine to share my story with your audience here. So thank you for having me.
Well, thank you, and thank you for being so kind. I'm also grateful to have you here and to be able to communicate with you and find out that we have so many friends in common because we were discussing that just before. Because it's such a small world, so it really it starts feeling more like I guess like a bit more of a cozy sort of way of communicating, and then also that you learn something and you pass it on, and then we all learn something and we pass it on to each other, thanks to those networks that we've built as realist painters and artists, which is it's so great. I mean, every guest I've had, I'm so grateful to learn something from them, and that's one of the reasons I'm really happy to have you on too, because
Yeah,
I love interviewing teachers and who are also amazing artists, by their own right, and love teaching. I mean, oh, that shows to me that you value what you do so much that you want other people to basically reach the level of their dreams, right? Because a lot of us, we
that's
start
definitely
studying. Yeah, we start studying because we want to be really, really good at it so that we can express the images that we see and the images that we have in our heads. So I love seeing an artist who isn't afraid to say, I'm going to pull, people up to my level to help them, to show them that, this is a career that can, be fruitful. A lot of people think that it isn't, but it really, really is. So thank
thank
you.
you so much for saying that, because I think I learned how to teach from learning. I have mentors. I
Mhm.
have Zhao Ming Wu, the and Henry Yan, the world-known legendary master painters. Zhao Ming Wu, Henry Yan. They created Oliver Sin, and I have been studying with them for more than 15 years. They were my co-worker at Academy of Art University. So how I started that 15 years mentorship with them. I study with them every day and every week for the past 15 years. So they taught next to me, next classroom. And then one day I walk by and say, hey, Xiaoming and Henry. So anyway, that's how I started. And they say, can I come by and watch a demo? And then that's how I start my mentorship and my friendship with the masters. So I didn't
Mhm.
go to school to become a professional teacher, but I went to school to become a professional artist. And then, I worked for George Lucas, and then I returned to my school and to become a teacher. But I didn't go to school to become a teacher. And it's just like the knowledge of art and my experience can able to qualify me as a teacher. I keep telling my students, without my prior experience, work experience, I cannot able to teach. I'm a
Mhm.
teacher because I have 22 years professional teaching experience plus my work experience and my artistic ability. So without that 22 professional teaching experience, that might be difficult to teach. I'm a teacher. I'm teaching based
Mhm.
on my experience. So, students always ask me, how can I become a teacher? I don't know. You need to good at your content, your subject. my subject is art. So you have to good at art first. And then one day, and people will ask you, because it just happened out of the blue, someone asked me, Oliver, would you like to come back to our school and, Academy of Art and teach? And I didn't know. I didn't know I have the ability to become a teacher. So I remember the first day teaching, I memorized my 6 hours lecture. That was so intense. Memorized the step by step, 6 hours nonstop. I can imagine how bad the demo was, but it was because I was so overwhelmed, and then it's like, okay, I have to well prepare. So
Mhm.
I spent like a couple of weeks to memorize those 6 hours lecture. Of course, I wrote down in paper first, but I
Mhm.
memorized it. But now I don't have to prepare. I don't have to, prepare. Teaching seems easier now
Yeah.
after 22 years professional experience. And I learned how to teach a workshop. I learned how to teach by watching my teachers because I'm an artist. I'm a visual learner.
Mhm.
I learn by watching. So that's why I still go to the workshop. I still attending Xiaoming Wu, Henry Yan's workshop. I travel around to study with them because they no longer teach for Academy of Art University. During the pandemic, after the pandemic, it changed a lot of like, artists, game. So they quit. They decide to retire. So, but they do teach workshop worldwide. So I travel around the world to study with my mentors. Whenever I could, wherever I could. So they usually teach it in America.
Mhm.
So, and I'm so lucky and grateful in my life. I have those two masterful mentors because they are willing to share. They're not afraid that, oh, Oliver going to steal everything from me. No, I cannot. I mean, I can't. I mean, they are very, very open-minded, masterful artists, and they are willing to share. And I enjoy spending my time with them. I'm very, very grateful that I met them. For the past 15 years, their mentorship actually helped me to elevate my soul as an artist. So I'm very, very grateful that I have a mentor. I believe that, as an artist, you need to hang out with other same similar minded people. So I
Mhm.
like to hang out with artists because I like to share my frustration with other people because artists, we have a interesting personality.
Yes.
Especially me, I know I do. I don't know about you, but I have an interesting personality. Sometimes I call myself, I have a cuckoo personality as an artist. So but I do enjoy spending time and talking with other artists because they actually inspire me. They open my eyes to see something that I don't know, and at the same time, my story, my what I've been through, how I deal with things, they actually inspire them as well. So I believe that communication is the key. When I was a student, of course, when I first moved to America, and I always afraid that, oh, the barrier in language, people will laugh at my accent, things like that. But I turned 50. I don't care about other people's opinion. I care about my interaction with other people. I think the secret of being successful artist is being humble. My mentors, Xiaoming Wu and Henry Yan, they taught me that way. They are masterful artists, and they still remain extremely, extremely humble. They have been teaching me everything that they know. They are not selfish artists. They are willing to share their knowledge in art with me. And of course, I have to respect them. I to me, they're the god to me. They're God to me. I value their opinion. So I'm just carry their legacy to my students. I learn how to teach by watching my mentors demo. How do they arrange, the structure or the the structure of the class, the structure of the workshop. So every day I learn something new. So I'm so lucky that I have 15 years mentorship with them, and pandemic changed a lot of like people's game. So I hope that I will have more opportunities study with my mentor. That is my objective in my life as an artist. I can able to make money. So here's my theory. I'm not drinking coffee. Oh, here's my coffee. So it's almost empty.
Mhm.
The coffee inside my coffee cup is for my students.
Mm.
I have to refill the coffee.
Yeah.
Who can refill the coffee for me? My mentors, Zhao Ming
Oh,
Wu, Henry Yan. They will help me to refill my coffee. What's inside my coffee cup is for my students. So I know one day this is going to be empty,
mhm.
but my mentor, they help me to refill my coffee inside my coffee cup. That is my theory. So I believe that my mentor, can able to help me to elevate my soul as an artist, and they help me every every day to become a better artist and better artist. And as I said, the secret of success is being humble. And they taught me, Oliver, once you achieve on top of once you gain some achievement, you're on top of mountain number one. Mountain number one is actually the bottom of mountain number two. That is a very, very fascinating to hear their opinion in life. So that is the secret of success, being humble. No matter you are not on top of any mountain,
Mhm.
top of the mountain number two is actually the bottom of mountain number three. So that's more and more mountains ahead of you.
Yeah.
So be prepared, be
Yeah.
prepared, and be remain humble. I think you know remain humble, and it's okay to be hungry for more art, because being an artist, I think, is a very, very good job. There's always room for improvement, and there's so many inspiration out there. I just traveled to Boston to see John Singer Sargent exhibition.
Mhm.
Amazing experience. So I gave myself a Christmas gift, by going to Boston 4 days, actually 5 days, 4 nights. So guess what? 4 days, 5 days, 4 nights. I stay at the museum, no sightseeing. Boston, that was my first time. I went to the MFA to see John Singer Sargent twice. And then I also went to the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum one time. And then I also went to the Boston Public Library to see the John Singer Sargent's murals twice. So that was a very, very rewarding experience. I often encourage the student go to the museum often and then get inspired, because most of my students, they say, oh, I've been practicing at home. But once a while, we deserve to go to the museum and get inspired. You cannot, I keep telling my students that you cannot just stay at home for the 24/7, 7 days a week, just continue drawing without having any interaction with other people or inspiration. They have to go to, I can only recommend the student. I like to go to museum. I like to go to the bookstore. I like to get inspired. I like to get inspired by other people. Like talking to you, hearing your story, to me is an inspiration. So I think art, you need interaction with other people, having inspiration from the museum. So highly recommend any of you watching this podcast. If it's not too late, go and see John Singer Sargent in Boston, MFA. I think the exhibition finished on January 15, 2024. It's one of the best John Singer Sargent exhibition. You can able to see more than 50 paintings by John Singer Sargent, plus the garments that John Singer Sargent used for those paintings. It was the best of the best John Singer Sargents. I'm a huge fan of John Singer Sargent, and I've seen John Singer Sargent more than 6 exhibitions. But however, I believe, in my opinion, the one in Boston MFA is the one of the best John Singer Sargent exhibition ever.
Wow.
So go to museum often and get inspired if you want to become a serious artist. I think that is, something that is no substitute.
Yeah,
from going to the museum. You, of course, you can able to get inspired by the social media, YouTube, but sometimes you there's no substitute to going to the museum, real museum for the real experience.
absolutely. Yes. That is a very, very great point to make because um there's just something about, you see the painting in your tiny little phone screen, right? But there's also that extreme amazement when you're in front of the real thing. Like for
Yeah.
example, that's how I felt when I went to the Met and I saw the Joan of Arc painting. Massive. I didn't know it
Amazing,
was that big. Yeah.
amazing.
To see the individual brushstrokes and to see, like, just to imagine this man probably standing on a scaffold, right? Trying to
Yeah,
paint this. It's mind-blowing and it's inspiring because it makes me wanna make a painting that's that size, just to try
yeah.
it, just to, imagine, wow, like, this painting, like, oh, it breathes, right? It's much different when you see it on a tiny little phone screen. Not obviously, not everyone has the opportunity to go see these paintings in person, but if they can, oh my gosh, please go out there, do it. I'm totally with you on that.
We have to make time and effort to create that memory
Mhm.
because you know you don't know what you don't know. I
Yes.
didn't know that, oh, Florence Academy of Arts, it is so amazing.
Mhm.
They invited me to teach there way before the pandemic. So I have been living in America, comfortable life, and all of a sudden travel all the way to Florence, Italy, first time to teach the Russian Academy of Arts for entire month. And then I didn't know. I was hesitated to accept their offer. And then I went to Xiaoming Wu and asked Xiaoming, should I? I'm not trying to show off or anything. And Xiaoming told me, Oliver, you are single. You don't have burden. If I were you, I would take that offer and enjoy your 1 month teaching experience in Florence, Italy. So he gave me that statement and it took me like 5 seconds and respond that email and then I accepted offer. I got there. You study in Angel, you lived it in Florence Academy,
Mhm.
Florence, Italy. I the night I arrived and I just like my eyes are wide open, my mouth is wide open, and it just like, oh my goodness. I am so happy that I was there in Florence, Italy, to witness the architecture, to inspire. And that is, you and I speak the same language
Yeah.
because you and I've been there. And if you're watching this podcast, if you want to become a professional artist or a serious artist, you have to go to Florence. You have to go to Italy and get inspired. Of course, it costs you money, it costs you time, but this experience is unforgettable. I'm so sorry,
Yeah.
unforgettable. And that's something that you have to gain that experience because you don't know. I didn't know. I was so naive to to overthink like a couple months to accept that offer. But if I ask you, Laura, should I go to the forums and study there? And everybody say, hell yes, definitely. You won't regret. So sometimes you don't know what you don't know. And then
Yes.
communication is the key. Talk to other people, ask for their advice. Someone that your mentor, or people who studied there before, and ask for their opinion. Everybody have amazing, every artist that I know, they travel to Italy.
Mhm.
They went to Florence, they went to Rome. Everybody have an amazing, amazing experience because if it's Florence or Rome, Italy, they don't inspire you. I don't know where else they can inspire you. That they're
Mhm.
very, very. I think that is an inspiration. You know, a lot of my students they say, "Oh, they being so passive. They just wait there and say, "Oh, I hope my teacher will show me this. My teacher will teach me something like this." Sometime, I turn 50. This is my artistic journey and I don't rely on anybody to help me. And
Mhm.
I am the one that's going to create that memory for myself as an artist because this is my life. I don't need to rely on my teacher to hold my hands and let's go to Florence together. Let's go to
Mhm.
do this together. No, who are they? Who am I to them?
Yeah.
I'm nobody, but this is my artistic journey. And I know what is good for me. If I know what is good for me, and I'm the one that's going to get those memory, and I'm going to create those memory for myself. So,
Mhm.
but I believe that communication is the key. And I know that nowadays most of my students they are lacking that communication skills because during the pandemic we don't know how to communicate with other people, and then now we have a social media. Sometimes we just like to text people, and
Mhm.
I often encourage my student, don't text me. Show, talk to me. Come meet me in the Zoom. I don't text my mentors. I like the real interaction with them in person or through
Mm.
Zoom. I like to read books, but I'm an old fashioned. I'm an old fashioned. I like to buy books. I like to read books. I like to have a real conversation with real people, real human being through Zoom or in person. I think communication is the key. I think we all need to learn how to communicate with others, even though it's not easy. Life is full of a lot of surprises.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're capable of until you try it. You try it one time, you gain successful result. That was just a beginner's luck, and you fail the first time. That doesn't mean it's not working, but you need to
Mhm.
continue trying. And of course, it takes a lot of trial and error, but I think enjoy your art journey. So don't worry, but do not just worry about a one good drawing and one bad drawing. Just try to treasure your overall experience. I think the good result will be just a bonus. You have a good drawing of the at the end of the day. Good for you. Good for you. So,
Mhm.
keep climbing. You're on
Yeah.
the top of the mountain number one, you're actually the bottom of the mountain number two. So that is my
Yes.
philosophy, especially, the half of the coffee theory. It's almost empty. So
Mhm.
I think I'm grateful that I have my mentors, Xiaoming Wu and Henry Yan, to refill my coffee for me. So
Yes.
I'm very, very, very grateful. And so that is something that I inspire my students. I believe that a real educator can teach you, to inspire you, to motivate you. So
Mhm.
that is something that is my objective, being an educator. Of course, I can do demo,
Mhm.
and I can able to inspire other people, motivate other people. And it took me a long time to find that might be my mission in my life. Everybody have a mission in their life. So I'm so lucky that at this point, at this stage, I find a mission. So,
Mhm.
and I would like to, use my resources to embrace my why I'm here on earth. So I think everybody serve a purpose why we are here. So sometimes we have to do something, do the research for ourselves, because after all, this is my life and this is also your life as well. So, go outside and find the purpose of your life for yourself. So don't waste your beautiful life, because we all live once.
Yeah.
So embrace it if you could.
Yeah. Totally. At BoldBrush, we inspire artists to inspire the world because creating art creates magic, and the world is currently in desperate need of magic. BoldBrush provides artists with free art marketing, creativity, and business ideas and information. This show is an example. We also offer written resources, articles, and a free monthly art contest open to all visual artists. We believe that fortune favors the bold brush. And if you believe that too, sign up completely free at boldbrushshow.com. That's BoldBrush show.com. The BoldBrush Show is sponsored by FASO. Now more than ever, it's crucial to have a website when you're an artist, especially if you want to be a professional in your career. Thankfully, with our special link, faso.com/podcast, you can make that come true and also get over 50% off your first year on your artist website. Yes, that's basically the price of 12 lattes in 1 year, which I think is a really great deal, considering that you get sleek and beautiful website templates that are also mobile friendly, e commerce, print on demand in certain countries, as well as access to our marketing center that has our brand new art marketing calendar. And the art marketing calendar is something that you won't get with our competitor. The art marketing calendar gives you day by day, step by step guides on what you should be doing today, right now, in order to get your artwork out there and seen by the right eyes so that you can make more sales this year. So, if you want to change your life and actually meet your sales goal this year, then start now by going to our special link, faso.com/podcast. That's FASO.com/podcast. Yeah, I mean, you have, like we were talking about too a little bit earlier. We have a limited time, so it's like if you're gonna sit around and wait for someone to tell you, hey, go do this, go do that, you're gonna stay where you are forever. I mean, like you said, you live your life and you decide, hey, this is what I want, and just go for it, right? So I hope your students figure out that, they have to get up and
Yeah.
go do it and figure it out. But speaking of, I do want to know what tip do you give your students in terms of finding their artistic voice?
That is a very, very good question, Laura. Finding your own voice. So I guess when I was a student, I didn't know that I had a voice because you know I went to school 4 years experience, and when I was a student, I'm always quiet. I listen to my teacher, and I like people to tell me what to do. That is my personality. Not every student have that personality. So I finished high school in Toronto, Canada, moved to San Francisco, and then have 4 years experience at Academy of Art University. And to be honest, I was a teacher's pet. I listened to my teacher because I was a student. I was a student. I just don't know. Just tell me everything. Just show me the step by step, and then I will do everything. So of course, it's not successful end result, but I still will try again and again and again and again and again and again. So the tips for the student, for your art journey. I graduated as an illustrator, and I wanted to do a children's book. So I have an interview with a Hallmarks at that time, but nowadays Hallmarks, we don't buy greeting card. So when I was a student, I like to do everything traditional. I like to, like Christmas, I like to draw a greeting card to send it to my friends. So I'm an old-fashioned traditional artist. I wanted to do children's book illustration, greeting card, but I end up working for George Lucas. I thought my first voice was an illustrator, do children's book or greeting card. That was my goal when I was a student because I graduated illustration, and then my teacher, graduated from there, and then they're into greeting card, watercolor, things like that. So I thought that might be my first voice, but wasn't successful. And then I worked for George Lucas, and then I end up being an animator doing traditional animation. So after 4 years, 3.5 years with George Lucas experience, so I make a voice as a concept artist, illustrator, and then after I quit, and people keep saying that, oh, 2D animation traditional art is dying, no one care. Everything is digital, and nowadays we heard about AI. Everything is digital. AI. No one give a shit. No one care. Excuse me. No one care about traditional art, and I don't believe that. Because I believe in traditional art. I believe in my artistic skills, and of course, I can be honest with you. At some point, I betrayed myself, and then I turned down traditional art. It is so easy for me. I had said that before, to say no to art. I said, I'm done. I have enough of art. I don't want to do this anymore. It is so easy to say I give up. I gave up a little bit, for like a couple months, 6 months. You try something else because I thought I'm gonna be a children's book illustrator. Oh, I thought I'm going to be a concept artist, but I couldn't able to find a job. I tried to look for a job as an illustrator. No one buy children's book anymore. No one, no one hire 2D animator anymore because everything is digital. 2D animation is dying. No one care about 2D art. So, you heard a lot of like, I wouldn't say it's rumor. You heard a lot, people saying that, oh, they discourage you to do traditional art. They keep encouraging you, oh, do digital art easier, Photoshop painting easier. They keep forcing you to do the shortcut. Do that. Nowadays we have AI, but how do you make the voice? How do you find your own voice? You find your own voice based on a different time era. Right now, I'm making a bigger, louder voice as a portrait artist using Vine charcoal. But I didn't have this voice when I was a student. I didn't know I'm good at doing faces. I'm good at Vine charcoal. But as a student, that 4 years program actually opened my eyes to try everything. So deep down inside, I have capability to do a lot of things. I wouldn't say everything. Of course, I have my own preference. I have
Mhm.
my own preference. So you will find your voice while you are searching for it. So you don't know that, oh, this is going to be your voice. So imagine like maybe like 10 years later, we will have an interview like this. I don't do portrait in Vine charcoal anymore. I will do something else. I might do abstract. I might do, I might paint flowers. I might paint something else. I might do something else. Who knows? I think life is full of a lot of surprises. I think in order to go find your own voice, I think it requires your own responsibility, your own action. And I didn't know, but I know that I am capable of doing a lot of things. But at this point, 2023, or now, I'm just offering myself as a Vine charcoal portrait artist. So this is one of the voices. And then maybe like next year, I try something else. I will do abstract. I will do pen air. I will do tattoo or tattoo being a tattoo artist or something else. Who knows? So, I believe in myself and I believe that I have a lot of things to offer. However, that is require a lot of like ability, and those ability is based on the artist. If you really, really want something, then you have to go and trace for your artistic dream. So, did I answer your question?
Yeah, I'd say you did. I mean, you make a great point. It's like you won't find your voice, unless you really experiment, right? There's like that
Yes.
phase when you're a student and you're trying everything out and you're messing around and playing around. And I would say I have a very similar experience in that way, with my own, searching, where, a lot of it has been traveling and a lot of it has been questioning, why do I like this, and trying to find painters that I like and asking myself, why do I like this and not that, and how can I add this into my world, right? Or what little clue does this painting have in terms of my own experience and in terms of the things that I want to express? And it takes a lot of, independent searching, independent investigation. And it's so much of it is, and I was talking to a recent guest about this, so much of it is, searching through your identity, like what is this and why is it important, to me specifically, right? So it's, yeah, you make a great point. And then, one of the other questions that a lot of people ask, especially when they're artists and they want to be artists, is, how do you make money, right? So I wanted to ask you, what are some ways that you have supplemented your income as an artist? Is it, a day job? Is it, workshops? Is it that, like, because there are artists who, they tend to either have a day job for a bit while they paint on the side until their paintings make more than their day job. What has been your experience?
I've learned from my teachers from the workshop. So we are all artists. We all need extra income. We all need to learn how to sell our artwork, promote our artwork, And I find it, I have been using social media, I think more than 8 years, 7 years. In the beginning of the Instagram, and of course, I was embarrassed. So I asked my TA, I asked her, "Can you show me how to use the Instagram?" I was embarrassed. It's not easy.
Hmm.
I'm not into technology. I'm sure you heard that all the time. So and then I asked her, "Can you show me how to use the social media?" So anyway, and then she showed me how to use the social media, and I know how to use social media well, and I know how to do not let the social media to use me, because before the social media, introduced to this world, I was a garage artist. So I was a struggle artist that no one knows about me. No one wanted to buy my artwork. So I would like to tell your audience, thank you for social media. Without the social media, I won't have an opportunity here to be interviewed by you, Laura. And I think that social media opened all of us up to the whole world. And I've you can able to sell artwork on social media, but my strategy is I'm not trying to show I'm very, very desperate. So I'm lucky that I'm a very, very passionate artist. I don't have to worry about selling my artwork. But of course I had. Then I've learned how to sell my artwork at the workshop by attending my teacher's workshop, because I don't know. I didn't know I can able to sell demo, sell drawing at the workshop,
Hmm.
at a reasonable price. So that is a one way. If I didn't attend my teacher's workshop, then I don't know. I thought that, oh, workshop you can sell original artwork at an extremely reasonable price to your students. Yes. So every time I teach a workshop, I will bring, like 10 to 12 original artwork to show the students who are attending the workshop. And then if they're interested, they can buy in a reasonable price. But that's something that you learn by attending the workshop. No one's going to teach you. You can go to Google, like how to become a successful artist. You know, that's no, perfect answer. That's no model answer. So you
Hmm.
need to learn. And use the social media. I find out that people will approach me with social media and ask me, like, "Oh, is this artwork available for sale?" They will contact me, but I don't usually like to put a price there, because I'm not a, I'm not. I'm lucky enough, I'm not a desperately to need to sell my artwork at this moment. But I was a garage artist. Garage artist, that means, I stay in the garage. No one knows Oliver saying no one care about my artwork. However, thank you for Instagram, social media. It opened myself up to the world, and people knows about me. And so Time Magazine find me from social media. So they offer me, and I did 2 Time Magazine cover for them. Again, they find me through social media. That's the fact. And the book, I also have the book behind me right here. The book editor find me through social media, and I also have my DVD. All those opportunity came from social media. So, and I think you need to first of all allow yourself, open up yourself, open yourself, and let the world knows who you are and see what you could offer. And of course, you can able to. I think the communication, have a network, has an art community. I think this is very, very important for any of the artists to have, you know, hang out with the artist friend, have an art community, and communication is the key. If you're going to lock yourself in the garage, no one's going to lock at your garage door and say, "Oh, let me help you." No, this is your job. You need to go out. And I heard that all the time. But that is not my personality, Oliver. I'm very, very, very shy. But sometimes you have to ask yourself, yes, we all have that shyness. We all are shy personality. But if you want something, you need to go out. You need to show people that I'm very, very hungry. I need to sell this artwork. Go to the museum, you know, go to places and go to the bookstore. And you have absolutely no idea how many times I got people to um, ask me, um, oh, I like to sketch at the coffee shop. And people see I did some simple sketch, they will come by and say, are you an artist? Yes. How can I help you? Yes, I'm an artist. After the simple talk, they will ask you, oh, can you draw my granddaughter? Here's a picture. I think that's how you explore yourself out there at the coffee shop or at the museum. Do a little sketch, talk like an artist, act like an artist, and you have absolutely no idea your action. You're doing a doodle sketch in front of John Singer Sargent painting at the Boston MFA, and then someone is actually, it happens to me. People will approach you like, are you an artist? I'm looking for an artist who do a portrait for my grandma, grandpa, and that helps. I say, sure, this is my business card. Always have the business card ready and promote and portray an image of yourself to the audience. You're an artist, so of course you can able to negotiate the price with them. I think this is the artist's responsibility to go out and to promote yourself. To
Mhm.
promote yourself, we need to take your first step. Leave your studio, go outside, and promote yourself. Go to the coffee shop and do a little doodle drawing, and all those opportunity unexpectedly will come to your way. And it works for me, and it's easier for me to say, but I've been there. I was a garage artist. No one come and want to know me, but now I look back and I say, that was my responsibility. And that was my job to go out and promote myself. Don't wait for anybody, any assistant to help you. This is my artistic art journey. And this is up to me to promote myself. And, you know, I think that is my little tips for my students because it it happens all the time. The student, they like to lock themselves at home, at the studio, and then they say, "Oh, I've been practicing." Yes, you're practicing your drawing skill. However, we all need to improve on our communication skills as well. So, go to the museum more often and, go outside and talk to other artists, have a little bit of the art community. I think that will able to help you. I like to hang out with artists. I like to, I think I mostly like to hang out with the masterful artists, someone who's older than me because I think I could able to learn a lot of things from them, especially because most of my students, they're younger than me. I am just using my mentors' experience at their story, and then I can, just use. I'm just a messenger.
Yeah.
I learn from them, and then I can just, as a messenger, I just share my, knowledge and what I learned from my mentors to my students. So I think it's a win-win situation. So I enjoy sharing my knowledge and art with other people. I enjoy real communication with other people. I think nowadays it's very very difficult because we know is we especially most of my students they have a hardest time to communicate with other people because they know how to text but they just don't know how to have a real interaction with others.
Mm. Wow. That's very true. I was actually one of my best friends is a teacher, but a regular high school teacher. And she also tells me about how concerning it is that, the newer generations are not very communicative. It's like they're missing, maybe it's because of the pandemic, but maybe they're missing
Yeah,
like
I think so.
something. It's really insane. So it's good to encourage for sure, encourage especially the younger generations to yeah, get out there and try to talk to people, go to a library, go to go somewhere. I
Yeah, talk
totally
to
agree with
someone,
that.
you
Yeah.
know gain a friendship with a mentors, someone that you trust. Have some mentors because I think their opinion makes a huge difference.
Mhm.
Without Xiaoming Wu, my mentor's opinion about foreigns, it would take me a long time to overthink and hesitated to make a right decision or not. But
Mhm.
after Xiaoming Wu mentioned it, Florence is my favorite city in the world. You should take this opportunity. You agree. You're just like,
Mhm.
how can you say no, to have a priceless opportunity to teach and to live and to have 1 month experience in Florence, Italy as an artist. That was an amazing experience. It opened my eyes, and if I didn't go there, I wouldn't inspire my student. I wouldn't tell my student you should go to, if you could afford, go to see the real art world in Florence, in Rome, because they open your eyes. They open your eyes. You and I've been there, so So that's why
Yeah.
sometimes there is no substitute from the real experience. The real experience, of course, it costs you some money. It costs you some, it you have to pay for your opportunity.
Mhm.
But I hope my student, they know how to invest their money, their time to gain their good experience. So that's something
Mhm.
that, as an art educator, I share my experience with my students. So, and I appreciate my student, they value my opinion. And of course, i I make a lot of wrong opinion or mistakes as well, but life is short. You don't know, you learn from your mistakes. Of course, I travel, I make a lot of like bad experience as an artist, but we learn from that. We learn from the experience. So I'm a very, very positive artist. I like to focus on my positive experience. The I learn from the positive experience. I also learn from my bad experience as well. Life is short. Everything happened for a reason. So good experience and bad experience, they both teaching me something. It just make me who I am. So of course we keep changing. We make other voices, or we find another platform, or every day life is full of a lot of challenge. So
Mhm.
we all have capability to do a lot of different things, but everything is in your hand. It's up to you to pursue your artistic dream, and make your life more meaningful or memorable for you. That is the most important part, because after all, it's your own life.
Bravo. Yes.
Thank
I
you
completely
so
agree.
much for
Of
allowing me to say
course.
that.
You're welcome. Yeah, no, it's a really, uh, I think so many people today just go through the motions of life. They don't, it's like they're just existing. They're not really living. And I feel like, a lot of creative people are the type of people who want to break free from that, right? We're like the people
Yeah,
who just, we want to experience life. We want to see the beauty in things. I mean, that's probably also why we like to draw, right? We have to
yeah,
see things.
you have to
And
see.
yeah, and when you learn to draw, you realize how distorted you really see things,
Yeah.
because you have to actually draw them, right? And you have to make them look the way they are. So yeah, it's a great point.
Speaking of that, I know the first experience, Russian Academy of Arts invited me to teach there for entire month before the pandemic. I think that was uh, at the end of 2019 December, and I think I returned to California back to 2020 February 1st. I think pandemic is started
Yeah.
around that time, and that was my first international workshop, and I didn't know. And now it has been almost like 2 years, 3 years. I travel, and I realized that traveling actually opened my eyes to see something that I don't know. Traveling actually opened my eyes as an artist, and I'm lucky to share this with my student. I'm so grateful. I travel around the world without my credit cards. I travel around the world with my artistic skills. They invited me worldwide to teach a workshop. So I think traveling, I meet so many different people. And without, of course, in the beginning, we all scared. It's not in my comfort zone. I have to live it in Florence for 1 month. And now you look at it, it's fun, Oliver, isn't it? But at that time, I said, but we are all human beings. We create all those war, do not allow ourselves to go further. So, I can spend hours and hours to talk about my excuse not allowing myself to travel because, oh, I have been living in America for so long. I don't speak Italian. I don't want to stay at the dormitory. And then I don't want to share anything with other people. But once I arrived there and it changed my vision as a person, and I enjoy sharing. I share the kitchen with other staff, the people that I work with, and sharing is fun. So it took me a long time to realize that traveling is something that opened my eye, and I can able to attend a lot of different museums. So next year, 2024, and I already scheduled more than I think like 7 workshops and mostly domestic. So I travel a lot of workshop. In the beginning of traveling, it was just like scary, but now like tonight, I'm traveling to Hong Kong and teach a workshop, and I'm excited. And I think life is full of a lot of surprises. So if you know. 4 years ago, if you asked me, Oliver, would like to invite you to come and teach here, I said, hold on 1 second, let me think about that. But now it's easier for me because I think everything happened for a reason. I like to go and see other culture. You know, I like to go to Mexico City. I taught in Mexico City for more than 3 or 4 times. I'm going back there next year, Mexico City, and then Harlem, Amsterdam next year, and and of course UK, and plus all those domestic workshop in America. And I believe that traveling actually um, opened my eyes. I like to go to a museum. I like to, take advantage of my traveling, and then I can able to see the museum. And I think the good thing is, the best thing is I can able to see the different culture. The more I see the different culture, the more I realize how small I am as a human being because you cannot able to learn all those things by reading a book. You have to allow yourself to go out and explore things for yourself because you know it's your life. As I said, it's your life. It's up to you, how to make it sweet, or of course in the beginning it's sorrow, but how can you able to turn this lemon into a lemonade. So that is my philosophy. So I'm looking forward to teaching workshop next year, 2024, and I'm so grateful that I have a lot of like different invitation to share my knowledge in art with other people worldwide. So, and I'm very, very grateful for that opportunity.
Yeah. No, and that's awesome because you can also, you go to these places, you learn from everyone there, and then you're also teaching them. So it's this really nice give and take situation.
Yeah, it's a
Um,
rewarding. I find it is
yes,
rewarding
absolutely.
experience. Of course, in the beginning, it's not easy. We all scared. We all scared. Oh, it's too cold. It's too hot. We all scared. But I turned 50. I've learned how to follow the flow. Just
Yeah.
relax, enjoy your experience. So I
Exactly.
think I've learned how to make my experience more enjoyable because after all, it's my own personal experience. I will try to remain more positive, how to deal with all those, challenges. I mean, the language, the time, the jet lag, the weather. There's a lot of challenge, but sometimes we put all those aside. We look at the end result. You know, how amazing to travel around the world
Mhm.
without my credit cards, with my artistic skills instead. So that was
Yes.
a. I'm looking forward to all those international workshops that are happening in next year, 2024. So, I'm very, very grateful for all those opportunities.
Absolutely. And where can people sign up for your workshops?
Um, I will send you a list so you can post it on the screen. So those are the
Perfect.
some of the workshop that for 2024. and I like to do it like once a month. International workshop, I usually limit it into 2 or 3 workshops. I usually promote it on my website, and then on my social media. I use my Instagram most of the time. So nowadays it's so easy to find. You just go to Google, type Oliver Sin's workshop 2024. You can find something will pop up. So
Great.
that
Yeah. And what's your Instagram, by the way?
Oliver Sin. Oliver Sin. And I use Instagram more often. And of course, I use Facebook. Facebook is oliver.sin.3. But I use mostly Instagram, Oliver Sin. So just
Perfect.
Oliver Sin. There's only one Oliver Sin with the blue check. That's me. So
Great.
I do encourage a student, take advantage of the social media. I love social media because I find that social media is it's an inspiration, and I think you can find a lot of like picture reference, a lot of like high resolution picture reference from social media, and social media also connect my artwork with a lot of like celebrities, well-known celebrity. So I think 2023 now, I think the world is always rounded, and with the social media, my artwork connect with a lot of like well-known famous celebrity, and I'm very very grateful for that. So I do encourage a lot of like students take advantage of the social media. You don't have to use it, but if you want to become a professional artist, I think you need to learn how to promote yourself to the world.
Definitely. Very true. Well,
Thank
thank
you.
you, Oliver, so much for your amazing advice. I'm so happy to have had you on the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, Laura. I have an amazing time. So again, thank you for your support, and I will see you guys next time. And thank you,
Yes,
Laura, for having me.
of course. Thank you again to Oliver Sin for joining us on the podcast. If you'd like to sign up for one of his workshops, be sure to check out the show notes to find all the links. You'll also find the links to his social media as well as his website.